it's Christine with Moonshine Safari and...
Anthony with Moonshine Safari.
Woo!
Yeehaw.
We are up to chapter 16 in the original Outlander book, and we've kind of been trying to straddle the idea of covering the episodes when they appear naturally in the books, and we've also done up to episode 7. So, reminder, we do spoilers for both the books and the show, so if you don't want to be spoiled, you shouldn't listen, but you do want to be spoiled, so you should listen.
Get spoiled.
Get spoiled.
But no ads.
No ads. Yes. Just ads for me.
No ads yet.
Right, exactly. So this is the episode post-wedding, post-honeymoon night, post-Bom-Chicka-Wow. So
Frank who?
Frank who? Her second husband. She's got brother husbands.
Her future husband.
There you go.
From the past.
Her future husband, yeah, It opens with Claire and Jamie going on a small hike after their previous day's recreational activities.
Because you always have so much energy out there.
They are so energetic. They're super awkward again.
Sit around watching TV.
I know. I mean, that actually sounds like a good time. But I'm old, so they're super awkward again. And so Jamie essentially is awkwardly trying to tell her that he was honored in how she treated him. He hopes that she got the same treatment when she was a virgin, because just as a reminder, on their honeymoon night, Jamie was still a virgin, and obviously Claire had been married, so she was not. So he was on. They're trying to just get to be comfortable again, because kind of they got past that the night before, but kind of had to. But then it's kind of back the next day because they still really don't know each other. So they're just trying to get to know each other again. So one of the things that they like to do is sit and like hold hands or touch or whatever, because they feel like it bridges the gap a little bit. It makes it easier for them to be comfortable. That's what they're doing. Talking about history again, and she asks why he was with Dougal if Dougal is so difficult with him. Jamie tells him that after everything that happened with Randall, he had gone away. And while he was away, Dougal had told him that his sister had actually gotten pregnant with Randall's child. It's a spoiler alert because there's information coming that kind of gives light to Dougal's ulterior motives. Say it that way. So Jamie's been told that not only did his sister have a child by Randall due to the rape, but she's also pregnant again with another English officer's baby. Essentially, she's gone a bad way, and Jamie feels like it's all his fault because of everything that happened, etc. So you get back to fake news, and get back to the protection angle, because Jamie always feels like he has to protect people, and if he doesn't, he failed. So through their family connections, Jamie actually hears, and it's through this person, and this person told this person, and eventually it gets to his uncle, and his uncle the priest, that there is a man who is an English deserter, so that doesn't put him high on the list of believable people. However, he can supposedly give witness to the fact that Jamie did not commit the murder that is attributed to him, which is why he has a price on his head. So he wants to come back and see this man to see if he can get him to testify for him. So as he comes back, all of a sudden, he's supposed to be meeting Dougal, and Dougal's supposed to be nearby, and then something happens, and Jamie gets hit in the head with an axe.
This axe came out of nowhere.
It just came out of nowhere. Nobody knows what happened.
Some lumberjacks out there in the woods.
Just chopping down trees. Paul Bunyan. Trees. Maybe it was Paul Bunyan. So he gets hit in the head with an axe, and they think he's going to die. So at this point...
Who hit Jamie?
I know. Who hit Jamie?
Who hit him?
It rhymes with Google. They take him back to his uncle, the priest, because essentially they don't know where to take him and somebody needs to treat him. He is in recovery for a long, long time. And he comes back again, and he's just hanging out with a bunch of dudes, not any of his family members. He meets up with Dougal and the gang again, and that's when he gets injured, and that is when Claire comes through the stones and everybody meets at that point. So it's actually only been about 6 weeks. Frank who?
So it could be said that Jamie might have a little brain damage.
It could be said that Jamie could have a little bit of brain damage.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, they do cover that a little bit because, you find out later what actually the damage was long-term for him. So it's kind of interesting.
Yes.
And it's interesting who knows about it, too. So that's still kind of with me a little bit. But more spoiler alerts. Woo-woo.
Oh, we didn't spoil nothing.
We didn't, actually.
Foreshadows.
Claire is actually really shocked that as Jamie's uncle, Dougal, would actually hurt him like this. And so Jamie kind of gets into this explanation that, look, okay, everybody knows that Colum is sick. Colum has this debilitating disease that eventually is going to kill him. And so the way they say it in the book is that he's not going to make old bones. So Colum's son would be the natural predecessor to him as Laird. However, He's 8 years old. He's not going to be able to run the clan for a while, even if he can inherit his position. So the next person theoretically in line would be Dougal, which would make sense, except there's a lot of people in the clan that don't think Dougal has quite the temperament to run it. If they're looking around for somebody to take Dougal's place, that kind of falls on Jamie, which is one of the reasons that Dougal is always having sort of a rivalry with him and is worried about him. And also you get into, that's one of the reasons Dougal wanted him to marry Claire, because people who might follow Jamie would not follow somebody who married an English woman. So it's kind of like there's all kinds of avenues that Dougal has tried to exert to make sure that Jamie stays out of his way. And that also takes you back to the whole oath-taking thing during the gathering, because if Jamie had sworn his oath to Clan Mackenzie, he would have been a contender for Laird, and then
Could have been a contender.
probably would have been killed.
Well, Dougal is much better as the war chief. That's his temperament.
Yes, and he's really good at
Jamie
it.
is way suited for. He has more charm and political sense. He is
Which
good
is
business
more
sense.
like Colum. He's kind of a combination
No, he
of
is.
Colum and Dougal,
Yeah.
really.
And he's a good fighter too
Yeah.
because of Dougal. But Dougal's definitely that's where he's the hammer.
And Jamie actually says that one of the people that taught him to fight the best ever would have been Dougal, because Dougal actually is also left-handed. It's kind of a big deal who's left-handed, who's right-handed, because they didn't like for people to be left-handed back in the day, and there was a whole thing around it, which is weird to me, but whatever.
They're evil. That's
It is,
why.
apparently. So this is one of the times that you start to learn that they say Claire has a glass face. Because as they're sitting there, Jamie goes, he guesses that she's kind of thinking about the fact that he's always sleeping armed and ready to basically kill somebody. And he said that he was worried the whole time he was at the castle because of the fact that he is sort of a contender. They did, there was a rivalry, and he thought they could attack him at any time. And since it's a question who hit him in his head with an axe, he has very good reason to be very concerned over these people. So, and honestly, it's not even the first time. He's lived like this for a long time.
Well, he's got the redcoats after him, and he's got his own kinsmen after him, or trying to keep him away.
Everybody,
So,
right.
And you got Claire after you. Oh my
Oh.
God!
Clear.
Just go find a cave, Jamie. Jeez, seriously.
So she asks him again, so you don't think I'm actually a spy? And he goes, I don't think so, but I also know you're not telling me everything, which they agreed on. They agreed that just not to lie to each other, but they could just, if they had secrets,
Everybody
they could keep
said that to her.
Ex-
Colin said it to her. Dougal said it to her.
They think you're up
James
to something.
said it to her. Everybody said it to her. It's like, you could, and I think that what the attorney guy said it to her too. They're like, yeah, we don't think you are, but we're not.
We're not
We know
real
you're
sure.
holding stuff back.
Well, Dougal was more satisfied that she wasn't a spy once he took her to that magic spring that was supposed to make her
Oh yeah.
die if she
True.
lied.
Yeah.
So
Drink the truth water.
drink the truth water, but then, so he feels like maybe she's not a spy, but he still doesn't know what she's up. So they're on this hike, and they see a bunch of men, because basically they're on this little hill that's sort of near this inn that they had their wedding feast and stuff at. And they see a bunch of men from the watch pull up. I say pull up like they drove a car up there, but come up there's a bunch of men on horses and stuff, and that's the watch. So that's the Scottish watch. Those are kind of the resident mafia,
Yes.
again, for the
You
Scots.
pay for their protection.
But you require their protection because of them, so it's kind of a big circle.
Well, that's kind of the mafia.
Exactly.
You pay for
exactly.
the protection from them,
From
because
them.
if you don't pay them, they're going to come.
Then
beat
they're
you
going to
up.
get you. Right. The problem is they're not totally loyal to the Scots. If they saw an opportunity to turn Jamie in for some cash to the English, they'd be all over it. So Claire's like a little worried. She said, are they there to see you? And he says, no. He goes, look at them. They're all casual and stuff. They're just there to get some drinks and some food, and I'm not too worried about it. So they talk a little bit more about the watch, and that's another person he has to be looking out for, because
Watch
it's
the
another
watch.
group that's out for him, essentially. They would turn him in. She realizes how tough he is, and she's really admiring him. Bom-Chicka-Wow. Frank who?
Wow.
I know, right? So they it's very much a little bit more of them getting to know each other. He's teaching her how he fishes, and he does a fish call, which I think he just taps the water or something, the way they explain it. I don't know what that means. I'm not a fisher person.
That sounds like he's playing a trick on her.
Well,
There's no such thing as
he
a fish
does.
call.
Okay, I think it's the way he taps it is to make it look like a bait. That's the way I took it. Like it's like he's okay. I don't know. I've never done it.
I don't remember that part
I
of the
saw
book.
somebody on a YouTube do it once, but anyway. But
No,
could have
they
just been a
can. They
fluke.
do.
Could have just been a fluke.
It trained.
Some people call the squirrels, I've heard, right?
Grandfather.
I know. So they're kind of getting close, and they're kind of getting huggy bear kissy face, and she sort of pulls away, and he realizes again that she's thinking about Frank Who. And so he's not ever one to ignore the issue. He always asks her, so tell me about him. Because obviously at this point, he doesn't know that there's anything funky surrounding it. He thinks Frank Who is dead.
Right.
And so he just feels like she should talk about him when it comes up because maybe it would make it easier for her. So they talk a little bit more about him. He asks if they're alike, and she goes, not really. I mean, Frank Who was a soldier, but he was a different kind of soldier. He was more of an intelligence guy, not necessarily the fighting kind and stuff like that. So they're different.
But he could fight.
He could fight, and
He
then
beat somebody up in the show.
He was not a wimp in any way, shape, or form.
Because they were gonna rob him, and he beat him up.
He got him. He's very reserved, and Frank is, and also she notices things like how Frank's hands were like super smooth because he was a scholar. He was a professor. Jamie is a warrior. He's a farmer. He's not going to have smooth manicured hands. That's not how those guys are. I don't think. I'm thinking that that's not how that works.
No, plus he dealt with the horses and stuff, and he was holding ropes and things like that, all the reins all the time. So
And his hands got rope burn.
people
all the time.
didn't have soft hands back then.
Yeah, they got
Not even the
stuff to
women.
do.
They had stuff to do.
She kind of reflects a little bit on the fact that she's never been unfaithful to Frank Who until now, essentially. And she kind of feels forced into it. Take that for what it is, but she kind of feels forced into it. And so they do some more Bom-Chicka-Wow time. They have their fun. And then they get back to the inn. And before they get there, however, this is where he has, as opposed to the show, in the show, on the honeymoon night when they're talking, he tells her what his conditions were. In the book, this is where he explains, I had some conditions for the wedding with Dougal, and it was kind of the whole I wanted you to have a nice dress. She doesn't get it from the whorehouse in the book. There's somebody in the town that makes it. He does not get her ring in the book. He just didn't even think of it, so he wants to get her one eventually. But he did want her to get married in a church with a priest and have it be sort of sanctified, if you want to call it that. Especially because he knew that she had reservations about getting married, so he was trying to make it as easy on her as possible. Protecting, again.
Yeah.
So as they get back to the inn, they meet all of the Klansmen, and their hair's all ruffled, and they've been out hiking and Bom-Chicka-Wowing all day. And so essentially the guys are all teasing him. Jamie uses whatever cash he has and buys them all drinks, and they call it a night. They talk a little bit back in the room about her hair, because it's a big deal kind of about Claire's hair. She always has really curly brown hair. Everybody notices it. Some girls really wanted to kill for it. She gets frustrated with it, but she likes it too. And when she first comes through the Stones, it's short, because in the 1940s you could have a lot shorter haircut. It's going to start growing because women in the 1700s,
Right.
it pretty much just grew. You just let it grow, and it kept growing. So
Yeah, I don't think they had beauty shops back then.
not much, unless you just chop it off. She gets it chopped eventually, but anyway. As it ends the night, they end on a good note. They've had a good conversation. They've had some Bom-Chicka-Wow time, and essentially that's how it is. It's more of them really getting to know each other, but you do get some more information about Dougal and maybe what he may or may not be up to and why the relations are so strained. So next we're going to be moving on to chapter 17. If you have noticed anything and can comment, let us know what you're thinking. If we're missing stuff, we really like to delve deep into the books. In fact, I'm thinking about another book series at some point. But also check out MoonshineSafari.com, because we have some really cool stuff on there. Some Outlander related. I like Highlander.
Well, there is a shirt that says Highlander in there. It got a little cute little Highlander cow and a little kilty thing, and it's got our logo. And then that's Team Highlander and Team Outlander.
Team Outlander, right? Sassenach.
Yeah, and we have a Sassenach mug, and we have a tank top. We have a bunch of stuff over there. It's really cool. Go
And
check
stuff
us out.
that's not even Outlander related.
Yeah, go check us out. Get you 1 or 3, and then send them to your friends and let them know all about this stuff too. Okay, really helps out.
It does, and we have some. He has some people in his family, by the way, that are of the Clan MacLeod. So I thought that was pretty funny. All right, well, we will be back next time. I hope to hear back from you. See you later.
Ciao.
Bye.